updates. The Hassett Parkway construction project. I am in the midst of writing my letter to the federal highway authorities, asking them to accept the work done as fulfilling the grant. With regard to the proposed bridge over the railroad tracks, as I briefed council probably a month or more ago, with regard to the -6 grade and what could potentially happen in the event of rains and any queuing of cars at the signal. That has yet to been analyzed or submitted to the city for review. Opticom, you may have seen some crews working at our signal lights over the last couple of weeks. Opticom is a emergency vehicle signal light preemption system that the council authorized a number of months ago, and they are have been installing that system. It should be completed next week and operational by Friday of next week. All the equipment in our fire vehicles have been installed. The Opticom system, what it does is when a emergency vehicle is approaching a intersection, it will, by GPS and infrared, turn those lights green and the other light red for the safe passage of our fire vehicles. Fort Worth has the same system as well, so they'll be able to utilize it when they are in response to a city incident. Tennis court security and scheduling system. Camera system has been installed. The gate locking hardware is to be installed in approximately 2 weeks. And within 3 weeks, we expect that system to be fully operational. So then users can go on the website and schedule their court time. Any questions on those projects? All right, let's go to item 6, is the consent agenda. Council, you've got the regular meeting minutes as well as service and assessment plans, otherwise known as PID document. Annually, these are updated. There is no cost to the city. If you should have any questions about the any of the PIDs, Mary Petty from P3 Works is online. We may ask her. There was a question, Councilman Morrow, you'd asked about the sweetgrass PID. That is work that will be submitted for the next council meeting, and there Ms. Petty can further explain why it's not here, but it has to do with assessing their lot. Would you like for her to? Okay.
No, I'm good, but thank you.
All right.
Thanks for your email. I appreciate it.
Very good. Looks like you got off easy, Miss Petty. 7, public.
Yes, sir.
All right then. Good work. Public hearings, ordinances, resolutions.
Mayor Halsey, may I make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, excuse me.
As presented, thank you.
You made a motion?
Yes, sir, to
Is it-
approve.
Motion is made to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Mayor Halsey, I second.
There is a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous. Item 7. 7A, discuss, consider, and act regarding approving a Novatech lease agreement for the addition of 2 copiers in City Hall. Mr. Tucker can explain that.
I can. Katie Potts worked mostly on this, and we had 3 different proposals for copiers to replace the existing leased ones at City Hall. We're currently with Novatech at the other 2 locations, so we're requesting that we basically switch the City Hall to Novatech as well. They seem to be competitive with the other proposals we had, and we think having all the copiers from the same place would just make that a little simpler on billing.
As we're consolidating all the copier equipment under one.
Is there any real big price difference on anything that you were looking at?
There wasn't. There was it was slightly cheaper if we would have gone with our IT company, but we would like to not have everything tied up with one company there. That would be putting our phones, our internet, or everything with one company. We think it makes the most sense we've had good luck with Novatech. They've been responsive on repair. And like I said, it's very minimal on the price difference. I mean, it's within, $10 to $20 a month difference between all the quotes we have. So everybody seemed to be pretty much in line.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got a question. Is the 60-month lease, is that a normal lease for these printers?
Yeah, they're very large printers, so there's a lot of upfront costs with those. And so that's fairly typical. And then usually on those contracts, there is a way to get out of that without. It's usually with notice you can get out of those leases relatively easily.
And I'm assuming they service them if anything goes wrong.
Yes.
So you're basically renting them?
Yes.
Okay.
They build that into the lease for what you're paying for that machine, but they do all the repairs and any kind of consumables and stuff go through them as well.
All right. Thank you.
One last question. With the lease agreement, was there any option to where do they supply paper or supplies or ink or things of that sort for there, or is that all included in the contract itself?
Paper is not. We typically get paper from a different source, but the supplies for the actual machine, that is handled through them.
Oh, so the ink and everything else is covered in the agreement too?
The cost of it, I believe, is, but purchasing,
That answer is no. We
Okay.
buy the ink and we buy the paper.
we do not.
Everything else is covered. They do the regular maintenance, et cetera.
Mhm.
If the machine breaks, they come and repair it or replace it
Yeah.
at no cost to us. But we buy the consumable.
I guess my question to tie into that, sorry, thank you for the clarification, Mayor, was if we buy our ink from them, is that even an option to get a reduced rate in the monthly lease? I know some companies will provide the supplies, you buy it from them, obviously they buy in a bulk amount and they get a markup and they can actually make an additional revenue source for them. And sometimes we can get a break in our rate for the lease rate if we buy our supplies through these companies. I didn't know if that was an option or not with this particular vendor.
No, that is not an option.
Not an option?
No.
It's still a good deal. I mean, that's for 2 big printers and everything else. It's not a bad thing.
So we'll have a total of 4 under Novatech, which will be a good thing to consolidate. We've had multiple vendors, more than 3, or 2, but we've had as many 3. But we've been going through and consolidating things to make administration and bill payment and knowing our vendors a little more streamlined. Very good. All right. Any other questions about this item? May I have a motion?
Mayor Halsey, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Novatech lease agreement for the additional 2 copiers in City Hall as presented.
Motion is made to approve the Novatech lease agreement for the addition of 2 copiers in City Hall. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, I second that, sir.
There is a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. 7B, discuss, consider, and act to approve the contract for mosquito control. Mr. Tucker.
Yes, we've traditionally contracted with Municipal Mosquito. They're also the current bid award for Tarrant County. And so anytime the city needs to do any kind of spraying for West Nile or really for any kind of mosquito needs, we have to have an agreement in place. This is for a 1-year agreement with 2 renewals, and it just allows us to schedule them to spray on our behalf as needed. And our indicators really for spraying are based on recommendation from the county. They recommend usually if we get West Nile positives or if we get large trap numbers, they'll suggest a spraying to reduce population. We have 3 rotating traps that we monitor by, and this agreement just allows them to spray on our behalf.
This is for funding is already in place for the remainder of this year,
That's correct.
and you will see the line item in the new budget again for this funding. And if there's no other questions, I entertain a motion, please.
I do have a question. Can you open the attachment? It's got the rates on there. There was one more page down. Let's see. Sorry, up one. Yeah, the type of spray, I guess, is what my question is. The Vectovac. What's the difference between the Vectovac and the Altracid? The rate is different. I just want to know, do they spray both of these things, or is one sprayed in a certain situation versus another?
Yeah, so basically this is all the options they have, which are all ground-based spraying. So if we needed spraying done in our park, they would typically either do it by handheld foggers, or they would be on basically ATVs with sprayers on it. If it's road-based, it'd be a truck-mounted LV for larviciding. As far as the type of product, I think it's just suited for the application. So they pick the product for that type of it. As far as for why they use one or the other, I believe it's just because that is in a backpack mounted and it's just not mixed the same way. So really the goal is just to kill free flying mosquitoes, reduce the population, and lower the numbers of positives.
And then the next question is, I know it's been in the news of the West Nile virus. Has it been tested in our area, or is it going to be tested?
We've had 2 trap positives in the last month, so we will, as soon as this is active, we will do a spraying just to help with that. And so we do weekly, like I said, we do weekly samples. We take 2 static traps. That's one at basically in the park. The other one is on Schoolhouse Road. That's really the major body of water through here. We have another one that we use for roaming. So as we find complaints, we set that in that area. But it typically, if there's not a complaint in any area, we have it behind Ashmore Farms in that little creek area there. So wherever we have any kind of complaint based, we have a trap that we can set up there. And we also have 2 for doing long-term numbers so they can track, just over several years in one standard location.
Because I do live next to a retaining pond, and I have noticed a lot more mosquitoes this year. So is it something that we request for you guys to go check and test? Or okay, and who do we call, or who does citizens call to do that?
They can call Public Works. So if they'll get Emily Walter, she'll schedule us to take a look, and if we find a place we can set that trap where it could take those collections, and we'll just see. And then, like I said, spraying is usually dictated by what they suggest. And county suggests always with a positive to spray.
Thank you.
May I add one more question?
Yes.
When it comes to a positive identification of a virus of whatever it may be, what is the radius around that you guys actually treat from that positive identification?
The county's recommendations is roughly 1 mile around that area. We do look at basically where housing is in that area, and so we spray in areas like that. There's a few places, given that where that mile radius would be, it wouldn't be really attainable to get out there, and there's not houses in close proximity. So it's roughly a mile in the areas where housing is affected.
Council, we have any other questions? If not, I entertain a motion, please.
Mayor Halsey, I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract for mosquito control as presented.
Motion is made to approve the contract for mosquito control as presented. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second that.
There is a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? At this time, it's 7:17 p.m. We will adjourn or recess the open session and go into executive session. Council, if you will meet me in the boardroom. All right, well, thank you. I would like to resume the open session of the city council meeting. All members of the council are present. The time is 7:34 p.m. Any consideration resulting from the executive session? There are none. Our future projects are still the Asset Parkway and city properties mowing contract, the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office ILA. Let me make a correction here. That says revision. That is actually the revision that we submitted was with regard to changing traffic off for deputies to full-time deputies. Well, we are so close now to the new budget year. I sent the new county administrator and Chief Paynes a new request, in that it'd be 10 full-time deputies and a full-time supervisor. That'll double our force. So that's what the county has in front of them. We have made a budget estimate already, but we'll get that ILA back. And probably, I would expect, it'll take them a month, my estimate. All right, Tarrant County ILA, Blue Mound Road West repair. As you know, that we intend to put Blue Mound Road east and west up for a bond election in November. They will be a very expensive project. But we're not, even if Blue Mound Road West were elected to be built, it would be several years before that would ever happen, because all the engineering would have to be done, right-of-way acquisition, etc. That road is in such poor shape right now. We have reached out to Tarrant County through an ILA to rebuild the road as it is, 2 lanes, new top, just recondition that whole surface. And they agreed to do that, and they are putting together their proposal, I think, might be around $170,000, which is pretty good. I mean, we just pay for the material and fuel. So that'll be forthcoming. I have no other items. Council, you have any questions?
Mayor Halsey, I had one question. On the Labor Day 9/2, will we meet that Tuesday or the following Monday? 9/3. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be the day after. Any other questions? If not, I'll adjourn this meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you, council. Thank you, folks. Y'all have a good evening. I'm hoping Thursday, but we are